What if I told you the biggest lie in One Piece isn't about ancient weapons or the Void Century, but the very idea of bounties themselves? Fans have cheered every time a new bounty is revealed, but behind those thrilling numbers lies a truth that almost no one talks about. Not all bounties are meant to be claimed, and some may never have been real rewards to begin with. Could the world government be using them as propaganda tools? Let's dig deeper into the dark side of the bounty system and uncover why no one's cashing in. The One Piece world thrives on danger, reputation, and the promise of reward, and nothing captures all three better than the bounty posters plastered across every marine base and backwater tavern. They spark excitement, fuel pirate rivalries, and even shape how fans rank characters. But how many of these bounties are ever actually claimed? And why has the role of bounty hunters nearly vanished from the story in recent arcs? In this video, we'll break down the hidden mechanics behind the bounty system, expose the illusions it creates, and explore whether anyone really walks away with those billions of berries. One Piece rarely shows the world government paying bounties. This was mentioned more often earlier in the series. Bounties in One Piece are the system created by the world government to reward individuals for capturing or slaying specific people of interest around the world. However, with few bounties claimed, the system serves as a means of demonstrating a pirate's might and notoriety. Stronger pirates in One Piece command bigger bounties. Hence, this technique is better utilized for identifying strong pirates than anything else. However, just because it doesn't happen frequently in the One Piece story, doesn't mean it doesn't happen. So far, only a few pirates have been reported to have been captured and turned into Marines, the most notable being the One Piece Emperor, Blackbeard, who captured Ace. Others include Peachbeard, who was captured and handed in for a prize in the Lulusia Kingdom, as well as various Impel Down escapees, who were believed to have been apprehended and returned by the bounty hunter, Jean Ango. One Piece used to feature many bounty hunters in the past. Pirates would also be captured if they tried to pay bounties. Earlier in the series, bounty payments were higher. Pirates may be ambushed whilst paying a bounty. First, it appears that lesser rewards are awarded more frequently in One Piece than larger bounties. As many people already know, Zoro, the Straw Hat Swordsman, used to work as a pirate hunter, collecting bounties from various small-time pirates. Outside of Zoro, there are several bounty hunters mentioned, therefore. It is reasonable to assume that the One Piece world government pays many bounties in full. However, given that the majority of the characters in One Piece are wanted criminals, it seemed unlikely that the world government would pay a bounty to another pirate. If a guy like Luffy, who has a very high bounty, attempted to turn someone like the former warlord, Doflamingo, or Kaido into the world government, it appears that the Navy would strive to catch him rather than pay him. If more relevant characters were bounty hunters, it appears that the public would see far more bounty payouts in One Piece. Massive bounties may be impossible to pay for. The Emperor bounties are more of a formality than an actual reward. However, for the more significant characters in One Piece, the bounties appear to be a formality used to demonstrate their excessive levels of renown and influence. With bounties in the billions, few characters in the One Piece universe aren't associated with the world government or wanted pirates who could bring them down. As a result, it appears that the world government will almost certainly never have to pay out these large bounties. In the end, while it may appear weird that the world government rarely pays these critical One Piece bounties, it makes logical sense in the universe. As a story, One Piece goes well beyond the requirement to portray small-time pirates being apprehended by bounty hunters, and there are no really powerful bounty hunters who can apprehend key pirates in the story. Although it would be interesting to see someone claim the enormous bounty that characters like Luffy and Shanks possess, it appears that this will never happen in One Piece. Summary and highlights. Bounties are a technique to demonstrate piracy authority, not rewards. Smaller bounties are paid more frequently in One Piece. Strong or big bounties are more symbolic than practical. While bounties might seem like a reward system on paper, the reality in One Piece paints a much murkier picture. From the rise of near untouchable emperors to the disappearance of powerful bounty hunters, the system is no longer about capturing criminals. It's about shaping a narrative. Whether it's a tactic to instill fear, track threats, or maintain public control, one thing is clear. In the world of One Piece, a high bounty means everything and nothing. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden truths of the One Piece world, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Would you ever try to claim a bounty on someone like Luffy? Thank you very much for visiting the Mugiwara Review YouTube channel, buddy. We hope you enjoy our review analysis. Don't forget to subscribe and continue joining us on our joyful journey in the world of anime. If you have any wishes, question, or suggestions for our next videos, feel free to express your thoughts on the comments below. Thank you very much for your support, and until we meet again, see you next time, buddy. What is One Piece anime? One Piece is a manga and anime story about a young boy named Monkey D. Luffy who wants to be the king of the pirates in the world. As a child, he eats a devil fruit, a strange plant that makes him able to stretch like rubber. Before the show starts, Luffy goes out into the world for the first time and starts to gather a group of pirates. The main group grows over time, but it starts with Luffy, Nami the Navigator, and a swordsman named Roronoa Zoro. At some point, Luffy and his friends are known as the Straw Hat Pirates, and they go on many exciting adventures across the ocean. One Piece is a lot of fun because it's silly. Luffy goes from island to island around the world in the series. Each island has its own setting and theme. It's a pretty fantastical world full of animals that look like people, live skeletons, and other delightfully strange things. Within moments, the group is in a winter scene, and the next, they are on a tropical island full of giants. The show is full of silly and bright details. For example, Zoro holds a sword in his mouth, a scary military boss wears a cute bulldog hat, and people don't use phones to talk to each other instead. They use special transponder snails that can send and receive messages. Luffy is a carefree person who just wants to eat a tasty meal and laugh at bad jokes. Even though there are some funny parts in the series, a lot of One Piece is about freedom. During his travels, Luffy often takes up guns to help his friends and encourages others to do the same against pirates and government-backed military occupations. The characters in Luffy and his crew get stronger with each fight, which is typical for shonen manga. A lot of the story is about how Luffy beats a problem that seemed impossible to solve and finds some kind of secret power. After each fight, Luffy and his team get stronger and move closer to his main goal, which is to find the One Piece. Why is it called One Piece? The first part of both the manga and the anime shows that Pirate King Ghoul D. Roger is telling the truth about the mythical wealth called the One Piece. One Piece is the name of the show, because Luffy wants to find the One Piece and become the next Pirate King. One of Luffy's main goals in the show is mentioned in the show's title. What is the One Piece? The answer to this question is still one of the biggest secrets in the series. It's been more than 1,000 episodes, and we still don't know what One Piece is. We know that the One Piece is the name of the treasure that Ghoul D. Roger collected on his travels because of details in the manga. We still don't know a lot about the treasure, though. There are a lot of ideas from fans about what the One Piece is, but we still don't know what it is or even if it's real. The One Piece could just be the friends Luffy makes along the way.